everyone, you're joining me in my home garden this week, my tiny home garden. What I'll never understand is how a small garden can generate quite a lot of work, but then I have put quite a lot of plants in. I don't know if this is a silly idea or genius, I'll let you decide. But I had a table that was rusting away, a metal table, and rather than take it to the tip, I had thought of trying to repair it, but what I've done is I've turned it upside down. So that's the rusty base bit there, which I'm going to put some pots underneath to store. And then these are the three legs of the table, and I've managed to put a pot of ivy. I quite like it. So when I first got into gardening, I watched all the different TV shows, but none of them really featured that many small gardens. And if they did, they weren't this small. So I come to the conclusion the best thing to do was just to take elements of gardens that I liked and just cram as much as I could into here. So, you know, if I liked the idea of having trees in a tub, instead of half a dozen, I've just done two. And it sort of worked, you know, there's always things I'd like to change. But yeah, it still gives, hopefully, a nice sort of green, cosy feeling. What is taking up more room than I expected is the little Christmas trees. And these were purchased each year as a small real tree to have indoors. And then I've potted them up and they've done well. They're not showing signs of new growth as yet. Normally they do by now. It might be that I do need to put them in a slightly bigger pot again. I'll feed them. But it's quite satisfying to know that they were tiny little trees bought from the local garden centre, or in, I think this case, this tree was bought from Lidl or Aldi. And as soon as Christmas was over, I made sure that they came outside. And each Christmas I will put lights on them in the garden. So much like the system I'm doing at the allotment, I'm doing clockwise. So I've started in this corner and working my way up. This is the bit of the garden I don't like. Not much grows in this bit because it's quite dark, it's overshadowed. That is the agapanthus coming up, and there is a bulb I put in, and I can't remember what that is. I think it is, anyway, it'd be a nice surprise. In this section, which is sheltered by the shed here, I've got pots with hydrangeas, twisted willow. The three taller pots there are calla lilies, and then my snow queen clematis. Again, I always get a bit worried when I don't see much happening, but actually I think that hydrangea in the corner is just now beginning to produce some buds. My snow queen clematis is growing wonderfully. It did nothing last year, so I'm really pleased to see all this new growth. It's a gorgeous clematis. It has huge white flowers. This section is looking a whole lot neater now. I've made sure that everything's had a good water and then pop some fresh compost over the top. So things that haven't flourished yet, as in like the hydrangea and the calla lilies, I pop these pots behind, put the Christmas tree in front. So now I can move on to the greenhouse, which doesn't need a great deal doing, but then work on these pots and up this side of the garden. Inside the greenhouse, we've got my sweet peppers. They're all California Wonder, and I've potted on the tomato plants, and there's a few more than I said I would be growing because I had tomato seedling panic. It is a known condition in that you think nothing's coming up, so you compensate and grow more, and then they all come up. So there's Alice's Dream, Gardener's Delight, Nagina, my favourite, and then over here some more sweet peppers, some Brussels sprouts, and on this shelf is my cauliflowers, which is the all year round variety. I'm hoping it's not too cold for them out here. Of an evening I do pop a cloche over the top, so, and it is pretty sheltered in my garden. This hosta, which is just about appearing, came with the house. So I've lived here 26 years. Admittedly, it was in the ground and I put it in a pot years and years ago, and this pot has been frost attacked. So I do need to look into that, but it's a gorgeous hosta, and I love the fact that it is that old, and bless it, it comes back every single year. My garden seats are probably a little bit too big for this garden, but again, it's a sentimental thing. I bought them when I first moved in, went to the Kent show. There was a man that handmade them, and apart from having to replace this sections across the top here, it stood up to all the elements. So yeah, again, so they're over 26 years old. I really would rather not have this garden rug here, but that is hiding. It's hiding a secret. Not really, it's hiding a mistake. We had a barbecue, and it was just one of those disposable barbecues, and basically there was an incident and it set light to the lawn, which is just an artificial lawn. And so that is hiding a horrible burnt patch. Rather than replace the whole artificial lawn, it just was easier to put down this garden rug. The artificial lawn has been down for, I worked it out, I think it's 18 years. It was actually an offcut. It's beginning to look little bit worn and untidy in places, but for a garden this size, it's absolutely ideal, and I will keep it for as long as I possibly can. I am going to mention subscribers. Thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed. I am really, really close to 1,000 now, which I never thought would happen. So if you do enjoy the content, then please definitely click like and subscribe. Now we're getting up into my like little potting area here, which is again tiny, but it does the job. A little potting table. I've got all my pots stored under there, and this is next on my list. The cyclamen, I planted those up for Christmas. It's funny how the red ones have done great, but not so much the white. Now, not sure if you can see through my grubby window, but there is, I'm not sure if that's going to focus, there is a Bella asleep on the sofa. She's wearing a little t-shirt at the moment because she's got like a skin allergy and she keeps scratching, so she's given up watching me in the garden and gone to bed. I'm just going to plant these up into an old pot and store them away because they do come back. I would like to have an area in the garden where I just put them all, but as you can see, I haven't got that space. Definitely squirrel evidence because they've obviously planted this bulb because I didn't. And then here is a monkey nut. I wonder if it'll remember where it's left it. In this section here, I've got my brambly apple tree that grows in a tub, and then I should have various clematis plants. This is definitely one here and here, but some of them I'm not sure that they've survived the winter, but I'll leave the pots here because if nothing shows, when it comes to putting out bedding plants, I'll just pop bedding plants in the pots. This is Salix, which has come through lovely. I did lose one of those last year in the cold, so I'm really pleased that this one has survived. I bought 2 Salix trees with a garden voucher that my firm gave to me when I'd done 20 years. So it's a lot of sort of sentimental stuff that goes on in the garden as well. And talking of sentimental, this camellia was bought by my mum, and it was it's about 1 foot in a pot when she first got it for me, and now it's, yeah, well, it's got to be coming up 5 foot now. It's absolutely gorgeous. So apart from sweeping up, I'm finished in the home garden for today. Next time I'll definitely be back at the allotment. I've also been testing out today my new camera and new microphone. I hope it's gone okay. If not, sorry. Hopefully it's a lot better. Anyway, until next time, make sure you take care now.